church, we have tried to go accordingly to the way we understand the orders given in the dedication of the new church, and by doing so, some have gotten mad and left the church, and others will not listen to anything we say, especially the children. We have talked to the parents about their children, and they won't take care of them. Now, have we misunderstood, or are we going about it in the wrong way? Thanks. Now, let me answer this as they come down. In respect to the order of the church, we have tried to go accordingly to the way we understood given in the dedication of the new church. Now, that's correct. You're doing right. Now, this is supposed to be deacons, I suppose, because it's right here, it's a deacon's job. All right? And by doing so, we have people have often gotten mad at us. They do it me too. They'll do it any man. See, a person that does that, there's something wrong with that person. They're not right with God. For the Spirit of Christ is subject to Christ's teaching, Christ's house, Christ's order. See? And any man or any woman or any person's children that would get angry with a godly deacon, that would tell them to be, or any parent would get angry with a deacon. Really, we want everybody in this church that we can get. But if that would only cause trouble somewhere else, there's a thorn or a rabbit in the woodpile, as we used to say it. That person isn't right. If they leave, there's only one thing to do: let them go and pray for them. And maybe some of the deacons go to the church or go to the house sometime and find out why they left and ask them what was wrong. And if they see if he can reconcile them. If he can't, then take 2 or 3 witnesses with him, that they might be understood. Then if it can't be understood, then it's told before the church. If they are a member here of the church, then they are. And then if they're not members of the church, of course, they're not members of this congregation, they should be made to be ruled. See, they've got to listen to our orders here, because this is the orders of the church. This is things we don't want to do, things that I don't like to do, but it's things that must be done. I'm exposing myself and telling them here, but this tape, it's me. They can hear me talking and know that it's me, not you, man. You've asked me these questions, and I'm giving it to you the best that I know how from the Word of God. Now, if those people get angry, go out from you, what does the Scripture say about it, Brother Branham? They went out from us because they wasn't of us. That settles it. Left the church. That's what they did. All right. Others will not listen to anything we say, especially the children. The children are supposed to know discipline. They should get it at home. But even if it's mine, my kids get in here at any time, they get disorderly. I don't want you to draw one string. Sarah, Rebecca, Joseph, Billy, or whoever it might be. You tell me. I'll see to it. If they can't behave, then they'll stay away from church till they do learn to behave. This is not an arena. This is a house of God. This is not a place to play and skate and write notes and laugh and cut up. This is a house of God. It's to be carried out godly. You come here to worship, not even to visit. This is not a picnic ground. This is not a visitation place. This is the visitation place of the Holy Spirit. Listen to what He has to say. Not to one another. We don't come here to fellowship with one another. We come here to fellowship with Christ. This is a house of worship. And children must be disciplined. And if they are of the parents, let it be known. If these deacons, if these parents of the children will not listen to what these deacons said, then this parent should be corrected themselves. We have talked to the parents about the children, and they won't take care of them. If they are members of this church, then you should take 2 or 3 with you and call that parent into a private meeting, into one of the offices. I don't care who it is. If it's me, if it's Brother Neville, if it's Billy Paul and his little boy, if it's Brother Collins and one of his children, or any of the rest of you, we love one another, but we're duty bound to God and this Word. It's God. No matter who it is. We're to call one another in and be honest with one another. How can God ever deal with us if we're not honest with one another? How are we going to be honest with Him? See? This is an order. We must keep the house of God, and deacons are supposed to know how to do that. See? And that's why I'm telling you now. Keep them things, call them, and if you tell the parents and they won't listen to it, then you get you another deacon or one of the trustees or some good person of this church and take your deacon board. All your deacons together. Say, Brother Jones, Brother Henderson, Brother Jackson, or whoever it might be. See, their children are misbehaving. We've told them 2 or 3 times about these children, and they won't listen to it. Then call Brother Jones in, or Brother whoever it is, and say, Brother Jones, we've called you in here for a meeting. We love you. And you're a part of us. You're one of us. Let me just set this certain tape and listen to what Brother Branham said about it. See? Now, we've asked you to make those children behave. See? If they won't behave and you can't make them behave in church, leave them with someone while you come to church until they learn how to behave themselves in the house of God. See? But this is an order. It's got to be carried out. See? Now, the other question goes on. Now, have we misunderstood? No, sir, you haven't misunderstood. That's correct. I'm saying it again. The orders in the Army, they don't ask you, will you go do a certain thing? If you're in the Army, you're compelled to do it. See? And that's the way it is. I'm compelled to preach the gospel. I'm compelled to stand for this. Regardless of what my other man and brother and so forth say about it, I'm compelled to do this. I have to hurt feelings and cut man to pieces. But you don't want to get like Oswald. See? If you can't disagree with a man and things, then shake his hand and still have the same feelings towards him, then there's something wrong with you. If I can't disagree with a man bitterly from one side to the other and still think as much of him as Christ would, then there's something wrong with my spirit. I haven't the Spirit of Christ. See? If he says, well, Brother Branham, I believe that your teaching is this. All right, brother, let's come together to reason, you and I. We'll take it ourselves. We'll go over here in the room to ourselves. We'll reason it out. And he just cuts me to pieces. And I have to say things back to him. If in my heart I can't feel the same about him, and he's still my brother, and I'm trying to help him, then I'll never help him. There's no way for me to help him. If I don't love him, what's use of going over there? Tell him in the first place first, brother, I don't love you, and let me get that out of my heart right here before we go in there, because I can't help you until I love you. And that's right. And that's the way, see, carry on. You've done it exactly right. That's the way it should be. You never misunderstood it. Are we going about the wrong way? No, it is the right way. Carry that. Let order be kept, because it's constantly, little children, mothers, little babies and things, they'll cry. And if they get crying too much and interrupting your pastor up there, remember, you are his bodyguards. You're his gospel bodyguards. See? And if it's interrupting the message of the Lord, then you are deacons. What are you to do? Just like men speaking in tongues. He's duty bound. And a man preaching, he's duty bound to the Word. He's duty bound to these things. Each one of you is duty bound to an office. And that's just what we're here to do. Now, we don't want to wait too long, and I know I've got an appointment in a few minutes, so I'll just try to hurry as quick as I can. Brother Branham, there's two questions on this card here. Brother Branham, what should be the policy of taking up offerings in the church for people? How should this be done? I think taking up offerings in the church for people should not be done unless it's for your pastor. And I think if someone comes in for charity or something like that, or someone in bad need, like one of our members here, a congregation, say if one of our brothers, and they have some trouble, well, I think then that should be announced at the platform and let the pastor do that. I think it's his duty to do that. Some brother that's in need of something, let him present it to the church if it wants to be taken that way. If it's someone in need, and then you don't want to take the offering up for the person that's in need, then let the boards meet together and agree upon certain sums that they want to give to this person out of the treasury. But if the treasury's low at that time and they can't afford to do it, then it has to be taken up. Well, let it be talked with the board, giving orders to the pastor, and let the pastor ask for this certain thing. Say, now, tonight, our brother Jones, he had a horrible accident, his house burned down. And tonight, as Christians, we're going together to each one of us make a pledge of what we can do to help Brother Jones back with his house again, see, or whatever it is. See, we do that. Let that be said from the platform. That's the way to do that. And then let the pledges be given, and then give it over to the treasurer of the church, and these pledges be paid to the treasurer of the church and give to them, and give the person a receipt for it, because I don't know whether that's tax redemption or not. I guess it is for something like that. Now, but when it comes to like a stranger come in, like a man comes in and said, well, you know what, I'm on a journey and I blew out a tire and I want a new tire. Take me up an offering tonight for a new tire. Now that shouldn't be done. No, that should not be done. And if it seems to be a worthy thing of somebody that you know, the board could meet and designate a certain amount of money from the treasurer to buy that man a tire or whatever it was, or either if the church treasury is low and it's decided by the board that the pastor shouldn't have nothing to do in this. The deacons are supposed to do this, see, or the boards. And now, if it's agreed then to give to the pastor can take the offering. But notice, if it's a stranger, it's in an emergency, a fellow needs a little money, and you feel that it's for a just cause. This is my opinion. If it's for a real just cause, and you know it is for a just cause. Now, first, if you go up there and look on my books at the house, of people coming by and saying, I'm Reverend so-and-so from a certain church, and I had some trouble down the road here, and I need a set of tires, and knowing I just come in from a meeting and had an offering or something like that, I give it to them, really, to go get a set of tires. And look in the minister, there was such a minister as that, never lived in such a place. And there's $10,000 or $20,000 on the books from these years that I give out like that. Never know nothing about them, where they was. Come to find out other ministers say, well, he made me for so-and-so and so-and-so. Now, the church is not responsible only for their own. That's right, their own, they're responsible. But if it seems to be a worthy cause, and then if you trustees might say, well, now, wait a minute. This man, there is his car down there. This is to happen. And it's not of our congregation, see, but it is. Then, if they want to do it like that and would say something special about an outsider, not our own now, see, not our own people. Our own people be taken up right here amongst their own, their brothers here, see. But if it's somebody on the outside, and a fellow says he's hungry, and somebody wants to reach down his pocket and give him some charity, that's up to you. But I'm talking about from the church. And then if the church people are asked to donate, then, now if you got an evangelist, of course, in here preaching, then that's understood before he comes, you know, that you'll give him offering or pay him salary or whatever he wants to do. But then if this person is here, and it's for a just cause, and the pastor and the board would want to agree and tell the pastor upon it, then let the pastor say, a certain person is sitting here, we don't know the man. He come in and he asked us he says his children are hungry. We haven't got the time, we haven't had the time to investigate the claim, see? If there's anything like that, then if there's anything among our own deacons go investigate those claims, see? And then if it's worthy, then do it. If it isn't worthy, don't do it. Don't have to. But now, if it's a man here, you let the pastor say, now the trustee board told me they did not know this person. But the man is sitting here, he says his name is Jim Jones or whatever it might be, and he's sitting right here. Would you stand up, Mr. Jones? Now, Mr. Jones, at the end of the service, you stand just at the back door there as you go out, and if any people feel in your heart or anything that you want to do for this man, give it to him as you go out. Is that understood now? Did you get that on yours? To those who are on the tape, and one of the, Brother Collins missed it on his tape, I want to reinstate that quotation again. If, of course, he's one of the deacons. If there be any one man comes in and he's in an emergency and he wants an offering from the church, let the trustees or deacons meet together and meet together and make this decision, then tell the pastor. It might be done like this. Let them
let the pastor say that this certain man, call him by name, we know him not. And our policy here is to investigate before we take offerings for people, and that is of our own. But this man here, he says he's broke down, he's had an emergency, he's got sick children, he's trying to get medicine for his children, or whatever it might be, the emergency. Now, he's standing right here. Would you stand up, sir? See, and let him stand up and say, now, you people see who he is. Now, at the close of this service, this man shall stand there at the front door. And people going out that feel that you want to contribute to this, you're at liberty. We only announced it in the church. You're not sanctioning it. You're only announcing it. See? That's hospitality to a stranger. See? Understand now? All right. I think that settles that question. What about